they figured it out. I mean, they started putting out, and then again, I think these movies suffered from, this is the non-Pixar movie. You know what I mean? Like, and we actually do that. Oh, that's the one that's not Disney. You know what I mean? Quote unquote Disney. And the next one that was kind of a success for them was Chicken Little. I love Chicken Little.
I love Chicken Little.
Sarah loves her some Chicken Little. I don't even like the movie that much. It's all right.
When I lived in Florida, I spent 8 months going around trading pins with cast members so I could get the full Chicken Little set. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I like Fish Out of Water. To me is just he's a hilarious character. Again, another side character that I super love. But just the little jokes that they make about being different species, and we'll get into that later with the other movie we saw today. And I don't know. I think that movie's hilarious. I love it.
It is good, and it's weird because they had to strike a balance between not looking too CGI, but they were using computer graphics, so they had to find like their style. You know what I mean? Because
you differentiate from Pixar.
Yeah, because if you get too close to Pixar, then it's like, well, is this a Pixar movie or is this not a Pixar movie? So, and then I think they started to perfect as far as storytelling as well as the animation style with the next one, which was Meet the Robinsons. Have you seen this?
No.
That's another very underrated Disney movie.
It's fantastic.
Love
really
that
good.
movie.
The message on the movie is maybe a little tear. The T-Rex, it's hilarious. The guy in the bowler hat guy, it's funny. The story's really good. There's a couple twists and stuff in it.
Yeah, it plays
a really
with
good, solid
time
movie.
travel. It's got some really interesting components. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Yes.
Very underrated.
Why have you not seen it yet?
I think
Get
what
on this.
years were these? I think this was hit in 2004, 2005.
We've jumped a little bit. We're at about 2005, 2007 area
so
time.
we were all in college, so you guys should have been.
No
doing
shame.
other
I wasn't.
things.
No shame.
I had plenty of time to watch these movies.
Yeah, we went to go see Meet the Robinsons together.
Yeah, we saw the theater.
Damn, that was forever ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy when I see these dates. I'm like, it's that old? Oh man, like that movie's 20 years old.
Yeah, I remember
Meet the Robinsons.
The reason I remember the
Shut
year,
up, David.
Yeah, I know.
the year with Finding Nemo is because
I'm sorry, 10 years. Why am I
I was
saying
gonna say,
20
you
years?
said 2007, right?
I know. Sorry.
40. No,
Still 10 years is nuts.
me and Kyle went on a date to go see Finding Nemo together.
Did you really?
It
That's
was just
so
me
cute.
and him, yeah. Well, it was just like, well, I got free in the movies.
Right.
And he wanted to see the movie, and I wanted to see it. And we were like, we didn't have girls to take with us. So we were like, hey, man.
The real question, did you guys do the seat in between you, or did you guys literally sit next to each other?
We held hands.
That's good.
Yeah, Meet the Robinsons. I love it because they play off of a Walt Disney quote, which is "keep moving forward," and that's the whole theme of the movie. And I just thought that was super cool that they did that. They were able to, kind of bring it back to Walt
They brought
Disney.
in what's his face? It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Isn't that in this?
No,
I thought it was.
no, but
Very
they'd have
beginning of the
Space
movie.
Mountain in it. Though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. I think it's interesting to see this transition when Pixar came on because Walt Disney Animation, which used to be the A team, is now the B team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so they were trying to find their, and these are good movies. It's just they got
this
overshadowed.
was at the time when Walt Disney Animation was like, okay, we wanna get back in, let us back in, like trying to like weasel the way through. Because I remember it being a big deal at the Meet the Robinsons that they did the little Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, it was
at
like
the
Walt
beginning.
Disney or his
Walt Disney Animation. So this was supposed to be
Because they would do the
supposed to be-
shorts, right?
And is Lasseter in charge at this point?
Huh?
Is Lasseter in charge?
Oh
at this
yeah,
point?
Lasseter is about 2000, 2001 is when Lasseter comes in. So
Yeah, he's the one who came in and said like, "Listen, we're gonna stop doing direct to DVD crap
no, that
sequels."
was
I thought you said
no.
That's Iger.
I'm thinking of Iger. Yes.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
Iger came in. They were still making direct to DVDs at this
when
point.
Lasseter came in, but I think Lasseter came in around the Meet the
No.
Robinsons time before that, right?
I think a little bit after. I think like
Okay.
2000.
But yeah, there was a big push to try to move away from just putting out
Little
anything.
Mermaid 4,
Right, like get rid of the shovel crap. Yeah, but then the movie of the last of before the 2010s, the aughts, or no, what do they call it? The aughts. What do we call the 2010 era? The 10s? Because we call it the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, right? Did we call it the 10s?
Like
The teens?
The teens? Okay. Before the 2000 teens, the last movie that was released was kind of trying to push back to hand-drawn animation, traditional, a lot of music was The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Which is a really good movie. And
is.
it sucked
really
because
is.
like I thought it was going to start that resurgence, like you said, about traditional 2D musical movies, but this is the only one they did. But they did keep with the musical format, just not the hand-drawn 2D
It's
stuff.
a really, like I said, it's a good movie. I love the music. It's got that,
Louisiana
New Orleans. It's cool. It's got like the voodoo stuff going on in it. It's very, very thematic. But I think they needed, this was not going to solve the problem, right? It was like, that wasn't the problem. I think it had more to do with the fact that like Pixar was so good. Like every single Pixar movie is fantastic. And not just from an animation standpoint, storytelling, character development, making you care about the interactions between the side characters and the main character, the small little adventures that they would go on, and then filling out the main adventure of the movie. It's amazing, the storytelling. And the story is like all those guys, not to talk too much about Pixar, like came up with like most of those ideas at one sitting.
Yep.
They all sat down and like, I want to make this movie. And it's just like, how dare you have such good ideas that you could just throw out?
How dare you, sir?
Yeah, it's like Walt had to spend his mortgage and like his whole life trying to create all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, we've got like 5 of the best movies ever sitting right here. It's like, how dare you?
We were laughing. I don't remember if this was actually on a podcast or not, but we were talking about how they wouldn't do Toy Story 4 unless it was worth doing.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, how about you just don't do any movie unless it's worth doing?
Exactly.
Like that should be your motto for every single movie going forward.
Just make movies that are worth making.
Just make movies that are worth doing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, with Princess and the Frog, like I thought it was like a big return to resurgence, but I think at that point maybe kids, because I don't think it did very well domestically, like gross.
No, it didn't.
And I just think at that point kids moved on from 2D stuff. They wanted the 3D. They wanted the characters jumping. They wanted the like 3D glasses and all that kind of stuff, where 2D just wasn't where it was at. I enjoyed it.
The other thing is it wasn't far enough away to make nostalgia a big seller. Because like I feel like if that movie came out now with us, with our audience,
right.
We've been talking about the fact that they're making things for people in their 30s more for that nostalgic factor. It would hit really hard because everybody's like, oh, they're back to that. But it was like just long enough ago where we weren't really into that nostalgia phase.
Right.
So the people who were nostalgic weren't nostalgic about that. And it wasn't that interesting.
Like I remember we went to go see it because of that nostalgia thing, but to make a good movie, you had to get those kids in too. And if the kids don't want to go see it, then the parents aren't going to go either.
A cool thing about this movie is that, Dr. John, he does the music for this, and he's a huge, in like kind of in the New Orleans jazz scene. He's been there forever. So I thought that was kind of cool that they brought him. I would have preferred that they got Harry Connick Jr. into this movie because he's from New Orleans. He's like all about that New Orleans music, but they didn't for whatever reason. And also
see him in that movie.
Huh?
I couldn't see him in that movie.
He could be one of the characters, but I'm just saying that he should have definitely at least done a song. Like I don't understand why he didn't, but whatever. I'm not his agent. So, one of the cool things is that, this was the first time this movie had come out, early December 2009. And I got a chance to go see it on the Walt Disney Studios lot.
That's cool.
Where they used to run the dailies. And I was
so cool.
On cloud 9. It was like late at night. So I couldn't really see anything. I remember I was walking through the studio and I was like trying to like look into like the windows, like in the editing room. I was like,
what are you guys doing?
Yeah. And like my friends were like, oh my God, stop. Like you're embarrassing me. I was like, I have to see what's over there. Like I have to see it. And like going up like Mickey Drive and Dopey Drive and stuff like that. And I was just like on cloud 9. I couldn't believe it. It was the actual theater where they ran some of the dailies. And I was like, oh my God, did Walt sit here? Oh my God, did he walk through this door? You could have.
That's so awesome. We were talking about what's our favorite Disney character and you said Walt Disney. It's like that's
he is my favorite character.
Okay, let's move on to another live action movie. We'll move a little bit forward here. We'll skip a couple that we highlighted because we're running short on time. But Tron Legacy. You wanted to talk about this.
I love Tron Legacy. So first, I love the first Tron because it was like the first all CG movie of that time.
Yeah, the first computer like animated. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tron Legacy was a good formula. I like the story. They brought back weird CG. What's his face? Clue.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, weird
Jeff
CG
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Yeah,
just call him Jeff.
So when you we're on first name basis. Yeah. So like rewatching this movie now, it's like, man, they should have waited a couple of years because like that CG is
they can do it really well now.
Yeah, but I mean they can.
No,
I'm saying you're being sarcastic.
No, they can do it.
They can do it really well
compared to just a few years ago.
Yeah, because you go back and you watch like The Matrix. Like, there's a bunch of scenes where it just looks bad, but now they've perfected it.
But you could, and Tron's
at the time,
not too bad because it's like, well, you're in a computer, so you can kind of sell that. And I was really excited where this story goes because they left it completely open ended. And then they were supposed to do another one.
It just didn't do well.
And then it didn't do well money-wise.
Yeah, the thing, so we were in Disneyland when this movie was being promoted and when it was about to come out. And so, they did a big fireworks show and they did like, where they shoot the water up and then they project an image on it and they're showing the scenes and the light cycles and stuff like that. And then a whole section of this area, they rebuilt Flynn's arcade.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I went in there and they had all the old arcade games. It was the coolest thing. Like, I remember
special coins on it.
Yeah,
Flint's
so
Arcade. I still have one
Yeah.
somewhere.
me and my cousin Brandon, we walked up and he put the quarter up on the. He's like, I got next. He's like, but we got to hurry because my mom's gonna pick me up here pretty soon. It was just super cool. And he's like, we went up to play track and field. He's like, hey, do you have a pencil on you? Because we used to cheat. That's how you do the. You had to hit the two buttons very fast. It was so cool. It was so awesome playing like Road Blaster and all that stuff. Is just like.
And they had games from Tron too, like the Life Cycle. They
Yeah.
had a game about that and all that kind of stuff too. But it was really good. Sad to see the franchise die. I mean, I'm sure they're
all
going to pick it
Daft
up one of
Punk's
these years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll reboot it, give it 15
Yeah, that's what I'm
years.
saying. They'll bring it back eventually. It's just sad
And
to
they'll
not
have the
seeing this current
CGI.
storyline.
They'll have the CGI at that time to do it. It's funny though. I was watching The Flash, and I know you guys don't watch it, but
Yeah.
the CGI in that is like
Better.
the CGI from it's like almost exactly the same from movies like 5 years ago.
Right.
But it's like I was like, that's how bad
It's
it
low
was. They're
budget.
using it for TV shows now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's low
On the
budget.
CW too.
It's on clearance,
Yeah.
okay?
The next one I want to talk about, we'll kind of wrap this. I know you want to talk about some of the older ones too. Is speaking of reboots, they went back and remade the Muppets movie with Jason Segel.
Yep, Jason Segel, Amy Adams, is that her name?
Right, because they had all the great ones,
Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah, and then the Christmas
Yeah.
Carol. They were all great. The question I had is, did Disney always own Jim Henson's, or was it acquired later, or do you even know?
Funny story. So in 1990, Disney was working with Jim Henson. They were integrating a lot at this point. There was a Muppets, like a person dressed in like a Kermit suit, like type of show at the MGM studios.
Okay.
There was even a TV special, The Muppets Go to Walt Disney World. Like they were like intertwined. They had the dinosaur show on TGIF, which was
That's right.
from Jim Henson
Not the
Company.
Mama.
Not the Mama. So they were intertwined a lot. And then literally, like, I think a day, it's either, I know this is stupid, but it's either a day or a month before, no, it's the day before they were supposed to sign the contract to sell the Muppets to Disney. Jim Henson died. So
Yikes.
they were
shady.
kind of like, yeah, so Disney was just like, "Ooh, let's just keep working with them, but we'll talk about it at a later time." And then, I think maybe sometime in the 2000s is when they made it, official, Disney official.
They bought Jim
Yeah. So, with this resurgence of the movie that came out with, Jason Segel, they had seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and they really liked it for whatever reason. But
That's a great movie. What do you mean for whatever reason?
no, they saw him and they thought like, okay, well, that show that he does at the end, they had a lot of faith in him for whatever reason. So he went into
Jason
a meeting
Segel
with
was a
them.
big fan too, right?
Yeah, Jason Segel was a huge fan. So they had a meeting with him. They had a meeting with him like, shortly after that, and they were kind of throwing out ideas, like they wanted him to make a movie for them.
Right.
And so he was like, well, what are you guys doing with the Muppets? And they were like, we don't want to bring that back. And he's like, what? Why wouldn't you want to?
Right.
He's like, people love the Muppets. He's like, let's do something with them. And they were kind of like really hesitant about it, which I think you can tell a lot from the company, but they were really hesitant about it. And so finally they kind of gave in to him. They're like, okay, well, you can, if you come up with something good enough, maybe
Right.
we'll see.
And I love that they went and got the music. The guy who wrote the music is from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, Britt.
But yeah, it feels, this is what you were talking about. I think this is where that sweet spot when we started to feel that nostalgia, like of
Yeah.
and not to say that Muppets are like ours, because they were out way before we were kids, but I think
Kermit
that
has always been mine, first and foremost.
but Muppet Babies specifically is what got us into that specifically.
It's a great movie though, but then you could see like it obviously made a bunch of money, but a bunch of money. So they're like, well, we're obviously going to do a sequel,
Right.
But then they rushed the sequel, and you got Muppets Most Wanted, which was the biggest pile of garbage ever. Ran
Which
the
is sad
franchise
because I
to the
love
ground.
Tina Fey. I love Ricky Gervais. Those two are like my comedian. Like
They didn't have the core
heroes.
people though. It was just a really bad movie. And now they have the Muppets, the Muppets on ABC. It's a really good show. You
Go
can
watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. The second half of the first season is definitely better than the first. The writing. and
I like
everything.
it all. It doesn't
Hopefully
matter to
it'll
me.
keep going though. It's funny.
It's The Office meets the Muppets. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of the adult humor that the Muppets has. So it's not just for kids, obviously.
So
It's on
I
a
think
prime
at this
spot.
point the company is just kind of like, you know what? Like the Muppets were not originally intended for children anyways. Let's just kind of keep them to a more adult audience. And
Right.
the show that came out has never even been marketed to kids to begin with.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
I was
think
going to
so.
say there's a funny scene in the new Muppet movie with Jason Segel where the character Walt, that's the main character's name, he wakes up and he was so obsessed with the Muppets, and he's got like all this like Muppets memorabilia behind him on his wall. And I literally saw that and I was like, oh my God, I have like half of that stuff. That's me. Oh my God.
Oh man.
So, yeah.
Again, another movie, another animated movie from Walt Disney Animation Studios that felt like right in the sweet spot of our nostalgia was Wreck-It Ralph. Right?
Oh, we watched that. We watched that last night.
That was great.
That movie is fantastic, man. I love that
one.
movie.
Doesn't fall. I assumed it fell into the Pixar.
No, that is, and that's what I'm saying is I think they at this point, and they had Tangled, and I didn't go over that, but it felt like this is like the one where they're like, you know what, can't beat them, like kind of join them, like kind of do what
Tangled
they did.
was the first one, I think, right?
No, I know, but I'm saying Tangled was before, but I'm saying this felt more Pixar-y than the other movies, and that's just because of the inclusion, I think, of more 3D animation. But I absolutely love this. I don't know how they got all those licensing rights to include like
Bowser, Bison.
Yeah, like that could cost a lot of money. Like if I'm Nintendo, I'm like, yeah, pay some coin, no pun intended, for Bowser. Ding! That's the coin sound.
I thought I read somewhere that they wanted Mario, but they couldn't get him. Like
they reference him in
they wouldn't let him
movie, but they don't actually.
They wouldn't actually show him.
It's funny because I don't play video games. I never have, but Gerald,
I
he had
disagree.
to. What?
You play video games. It's just what you consider the terminology of video game. You play Thought Bubbles. Is that not a game?
Solitaire.
That's a video game.
Solitaire.
That's a video game.
But no,
ahead.
I don't play I never played the traditional ones that you guys grew up with.
Yeah.
So we're watching the movie and Gerald had to be like, oh, he's from this game. Oh,
That's
he's
from
from
Street
that
Fighter.
game.
That's from Mario.
This is a character from that game. And I was like,
Dr.
okay, cool.
Robotnik's from Sonic.
My favorite character is Satan. So I don't know. Like,
no, the bad guys.
yeah.
Well, I think enough of there's parts of that they talk about genres of games, like the war game when they're in that battlefield, and then there's the candy racing game. Like you don't have to like video games to know genres of video games, and they do a really good job of. I was impressed of how well Sarah Silverman was in it, because I was like, oh man, like some people, it's like Amy Schumer. Some people love her, some people hate her. I'm not a big fan of Sarah Silverman. I like some of her stuff, but she's kind of. I don't know.
Her
but
voice fit nice, though. It wasn't really
Yeah.
her humor anyway. She's just doing lines.
No, I know. Okay, and then of course the next gigantic, and this is probably the resurgence of that Walt Disney Studio animation studio, is Frozen. Right? Frozen is massive. Now, here's the deal. Little confession. I've only seen the first 10 minutes of Frozen.
What? Shame.
So
Frozen
I can't.
is excellent.
Shame
Frozen is
on your
super
family. Shame on your cow.
Now let me.
It's Mulan reference.
Mulan.
I got it. I watched the first 10 minutes, and I watched the scene where she obviously accidentally hurts her sister, and then they go and they get her sister, saved or whatever, but she's like, oh, she won't have any memories. And then her dad's like, okay, I have an idea. We'll lock her in the tower and no one will see her. I'm like, wow. Like, that was your first option and only? Like, you couldn't
Not
have...
just that, and they teach her, like...
I don't ruin it.
All right, that's what. but they teach Elsa, right? They teach her like just hide your problems away.
Yeah.
Put on these gloves. Don't tell anybody about it. It's like the worst message. But obviously, by the end of the movie,
I know, but it's just like this.
All that.
Have you guys seen the YouTube video that goes over this, like with the alternate endings? Oh, there's like they go over that same thing. They're like, "Oh, okay, I got an idea. Hide her, no, let her."
It's like,
how it
he's
should
like,
have
"No,
ended,
that's
right?
totally not what I was saying. I'm saying give her love and like let her experiment." They're like, "No, we're locking her in the dungeon."
Oh, when they go see the trolls, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we have this castle. I mean, I thought that's what you're supposed to do with kids, is lock them in the castle, right?
And then Professor X rolls up and he's like, "I have a secret for you."
Yeah.
I low key love this movie. Like,
You don't want to say you love this movie
I know.
because like obviously everyone loves it, but
No, it's a good movie. I mean, it shows that I think this proves again, and it always feels like it's this cycle, right? Of like, new kids love Walt Disney animation. This is what, because we went and saw, like, we were going to go watch Frozen, the show at Disneyland, and it was like, if you get in line now, and it's like 1 o'clock, you can watch the 7 p.m. showing.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
like a 2-hour wait just to meet one of to meet Princess Anna or Elsa.
So it's good. It's good to have that, because it kickstarts everything again, and it lets them take some risks. You know what I mean? Because if you're Walt Disney Animation Studio, like, we got to make, Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. You got to keep pumping out the same things over and over, and then this allows you to.
they're going to
sure
pump out
there'll be a
Frozen
too.
They're already working on it.
Yeah, they're working on it.
I actually like Frozen a lot. I'm always about the soundtracks. I like this music part.
Yeah, it's a really good soundtrack.
And, Frozen has like 2 CDs, and the second one is just like stuff that didn't make the actual movie. It's like hit the Eddie Bay, and I like some of those songs better than I like the main movie.
Yeah,
I play them for my girls all the time.
Yeah, it's really good. It kind of brings back the form of good animation and good music as well,
Yeah, and I think kids like that. It's weird, because remember we were like, get rid of the music. It's just, like I said, you can tell one just going through these movies, like these different, like, it always felt like they hired a marketing team and then they fired the marketing team and hired the old one.
Right.
It's like, no, kids don't like music, and go get Johnson. He'll tell us again. And then it's like, okay, yeah, no music. Kids hate that crap. We'll sell lots of merchandising.
And they did, and they are.
Oh my gosh, so much. And that's actually that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, exactly. No.
My dog has that as a talk toy.
But I went back and I was looking after I watched that documentary. I wanted to see like how is Disney broken up currently, and they have Lucasfilms, which is separate. They have Marvel Studios, which is separate. They have
they have Marvel, right? Didn't they buy Marvel or just Marvel Studios?
The studios. Well, that's the division underneath Disney,
gotcha.
and then you have obviously Walt Disney Animation Studios, and then you have a whole separate section just for like their stores and merchandising, and it's I think it's the most employed or one of the highest employed.
Of course, yeah.
It's just like so much stuff to buy. So much stuff. They have over like 300 stores now, the Walt Disney stores. We went on a Black Friday once. Don't make that mistake, folks. Do not go to the Disney store on Black Friday. Bad idea. Is there any other ones you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
I was going to say Big Hero 6 has got a big deal just because it was their first collaboration between Marvel and Walt Disney Studios. Really good movie. Go see it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Have you not?
I actually did not.
Wow.
It's a superhero movie, bro.
I know. There's certain times just busy.
I thought I
have
wouldn't like
at
it,
home,
but it's a good one. You should watch it.
It's cute.
You
It's
would really
good,
like
yeah.
it.
Other than
Stanley's in
that,
it.
Yeah, let's
I
wrap
just
it up
wanna
with
say
the most
real
current one.
quick, you
Go
didn't
ahead.
hit Newsies, which I love. Newsies is fantastic, incredible musical live action movie that came out in the early '90s. Totally fits this. I know
Christian
every
Bale's in that
word.
too, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh my god.
It
Go
is
watch
the
it. It's
best
hilarious.
movie. I really love that movie. Me and my cousins. My grandmother was a music teacher, and she played it for us because she wanted
Do you
to
have the
show.
hats?
Because like guys, she would play it for kids in class and be like, musicals aren't just for women. Like guys play, and it's all just dudes singing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, and we all would just dance around. Yeah.
We should do a cut, some cut of
call
you
it to a
dancing.
spot.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
We'll have you
Yeah.
reenact all these.
That's great. Goofy movie wasn't brought up. Fantastic. Goofy
Oh, I did
is
skip
like
that. I'm
one
sorry.
of my favorite characters in Disney of all time.
Max or whatever.
Max, what Goofy? His dad's my. I just love Goofy in general. But that whole movie was fantastic. And there was another one you forgot, and I forgot. But
Well, you don't love it that much if you forgot it.
That's a good point. Good point.
Oh.
yeah. But anyways, those two for sure.
But we're going to wrap it up with the most recent Walt Disney animation movie that isn't Pixar, is Zootopia. We just literally watched it just a few hours ago.